Alright, welcome over to the stream. At the beginning of the stream, I'd like to go ahead and give a little bit of an introduction. So this is a Catholic gaming stream. That means we prepare discussions about theology, saints, or various Catholic readings, and discussions about, oh, I've done this thing again. Alright, we're good now. Oh, actually, you guys couldn't hear that at all, so we're good anyways, but I mean, we're even doubly better. Anyways, this is a Catholic gaming stream. That means we prepare discussions about theology, saints, or various Catholic readings, discussions about going on in the church. I'll also be discussions about the games played to fit theologically wise or with church teachings that we play them. This is a stream for everyone, but I ask respectfully everyone here. If you have a question about the church, please feel free to ask. I'm a layperson, however, so I may need to find the answer by asking my priest during research or calling Catholic Gamers Live. Pardon me. I apologize. As such, it may take time. If you have a prayer request, please feel free to post it. If you can further streaming channels run by Catholics, then you are in luck. There is Interceptors, My Dog Productions, The Punching, Fortitude, Beard Blevins, Matt 317, Mr. Bushido, Arguland Papa, Father Sam Beardsley, Catholic Answers Live, That's Catholic, Blue Soda, True Grit Catholic, KAMaximilianK, 1789, That Catholic Gamer Dude, Yogurt Archangel, and Joyful Mind. Thank you very much. God bless. Remember that God loves each and every one of you. Go and sin no more. Give me 1 second. I do want to check on Father Sam Beardsley, see when the last time he streamed was. I don't think I've seen him active for a while. Honestly, like last 3 months. Like, I know he streamed, so the last one that is on here is 10 months ago, but I know that he's streamed more recently than that, so I hope he's doing well. I'm sure he's just busy, honestly, doing his prestorial duties, which 100% makes sense. I need to remember to resubscribe to him. I will wait till he's back. I don't think he's been live for a while. Oh, he's on vacation. Will return in 2 days. You know, Father seemed really good on you. You actually use the schedule thing. I should, I probably should. I don't. I really should remember to start doing that. Anyways, let's get to the readings. Before we do get to Mankind Divided, there is one other thing, but we'll get to that in a second. It is behind me. You might be able to... You can briefly make it out, but obviously the bleh does make it a little bit harder. Anyways, these are the readings for July 23rd, 2022, Saturday of the 16th week in Ordinary Time. The first reading for today is from Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 1 through 11. The following message came to Jeremiah from the Lord. Stand at the gate of the house of the Lord, and there proclaim the message. Hear the word of the Lord, all you of Judah, who enter these gates to worship the Lord. Thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel. Reform your ways and your deeds, so that I may remain with you in this place. Put not your trust in deceitful words. This is the temple of the Lord, the temple of the Lord. Only if you thoroughly reform your ways and your deeds, if each of you deals justly with his neighbor, if you no longer oppress the resident alien, the orphan, and the widow, if you no longer shed innocent blood in this place, or follow strange gods to your own harm, will I remain with you in this place, in the land I gave your fathers long ago and forever. But here you are, putting your trust in deceitful words to your own loss. Are you to steal and murder, commit adultery and perjury, burn incense to Baal? Go after strange gods that you know not, and yet come to stand before me in this house which bears my name, and say, we are safe, we can commit all these abominations again? Has this house which bears my name become in your eyes a den of thieves? I too see what is being done, says the Lord. The psalm for today is Psalm 84. How lovely is your dwelling place, Lord, mighty God. My soul yearns and pines for the courts of the Lord. My heart and my flesh cry out for the living God. How lovely is your dwelling place, Lord, mighty God. Even the sparrow finds a home, and the swallow a nest, in which she puts her young. Your altars, O Lord of hosts, my King and my God. How lovely is your dwelling place, Lord, mighty God. Blessed they who dwell in your house, continually they praise you. Blessed the men whose strength you are. They go from strength to strength. How lovely is your dwelling place, Lord, mighty God. I had rather one day in your courts than 1,000 elsewhere. I had rather lie at the threshold of the house of my God than dwell in the tents of the wicked. How lovely is your dwelling place, Lord, mighty God. Alleluia, alleluia. Humbly welcome the world that has been planted in you. The word that's been planted in you, pardon me, and is able to save your souls. Alleluia, alleluia. The gospel for today is from Matthew chapter 13, verse 24 through 30. Jesus proposed a parable to the crowds. The kingdom of heaven may be likened to a man who sowed good seed in his field. While everyone was asleep, his enemy came and sowed weeds all through the wheat, and then went off. When the crop grew and bore fruit, the weeds appeared as well. The slaves of the householder came to him and said, Master, did you not sow good seed in your field? Where had the weeds come from? He answered, An enemy has done this. His slave said to him, Do you want us to go and pull them up? He replied, No, if you pull up the weeds, you might uproot the wheat along with them. Let them grow together until harvest. Then at harvest time I will say to the harvesters, First collect the weeds and tie them in bundles for burning, but gather the wheat into my barn. The gospel of the Lord. Praise be to you, Lord Jesus Christ. In the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. Alright, with that, let's go ahead and get started. Why do we already have drop frames? We shouldn't have drop frames already. I guess that'll be something for me to look into. Okay. I don't... Let's see. I don't think there's anything else for us to do at the moment except for to continue on the main mission, so we can do that here in a second after we spend our practice points, which I guess I forgot we had. Too bad, I don't think, but Rosov, it goes well. How about yourself? A little tired, but not bad. Probably not going to be like a super long stream today, but I did at least want to do a stream. But that's not bad. Excellent. Let's see. Do I want this? At the moment, I should say. Okay, that's not bad. Don't need that quite yet, I would say. Always hard to tell where to spend stuff sometimes, but why not? You know what I should do? There you go, close my door. Probably not a bad idea. I'm having to relearn the controls again since I'm... Oh, good. It's been probably at least 2 months since we played Mankind Divided, unfortunately. Not exactly what I wanted, but just kind of felt that way, I guess. I haven't really felt like playing Mankind Divided, which isn't the game's fault, just... I haven't wanted to, but I realized how long it had been. It's like, well, we probably should play it, especially since we do actually have some fairly big news about the Deus Ex series, honestly, considering the fact that Square Enix actually sold off this is, yeah, Eidos, this is Eidos. I had to think about it. Eidos? Either way, they sold them off, which only time will tell if they were sold to a better company or not. I am not entirely convinced at the moment that it is a better company, but we'll see.
Wonderful.
Of course it's easy.
Only time will tell right now.
Just leave me alone.
They were sold to the people, THQ Nordic, the parent company of THQ Nordic, I believe. They've done good work so far, but there's always seemed like there's something a little bit scummy about them, but I haven't seen anything that's concrete, I guess would be a good way to put it. Embracer Group. So that's who they were sold to. I had to think about it. Because it's like, they have an official name, but what is it again? Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I haven't seen anything yet. It's just, it kind of feels that way, if that makes sense. I know that probably is weird to say because it's like, oh, there's been nothing, but it's like, I don't know. I guess at this point, only time will tell. Hopefully I'm wrong, mind you. I'd rather be wrong. But it would be nice at the very least that we could go ahead and get a sequel to Mankind Divided, but at the same time, I don't know if I really want a sequel to Mankind Divided. On the one hand, I do, because we got a cliffhanger. On the other hand, companies that age don't always... The more time between the original product, the more that the vision can change, and does frequently change, I would say. But, I don't know. We'll see. Unfortunately, no, it's a bit. The Half-Life 3 problem, yeah. Heck, even the Half-Life 2 problem, I'd say, Roswell, because I was gonna say, they got lucky with, Half-Life 2, but I was gonna say Half-Life 2 wasn't, like, as I'm sure you know, Half-Life 2 was initially conceived very differently than the end product. Hey Tom, how are you? I actually am kind of always curious about the original product we were supposed to get. I kind of wish we'd gotten it, but that's not meant to be, obviously. I go the wrong way. Oh, right. I don't even remember where this is anymore. Shoot. I remember what we were supposed to do. It took me a second. It's like, where'd my, phone map? Where am I? I need to take a left. I think I need to take a right up here. That's not too bad, then. I just forgot. Oh! I didn't do nothing. I thought that was the aim button, not the grenade button. Thankfully, it was only a gas grenade. Found the gun button. Can you tell it's been a little bit of time? There we go. Nothing to see. Oh, nope, nope, you guys did see me. Well, you arrest me if you don't shoot at... No, I said if you don't shoot at me. It was a mistake, I promise. Why can't you see me? I'm invisible. Okay, I have questions. That's fair, though. That's fair. I can understand that. I hope that your creative burnout isn't too bad. But I definitely get it. I don't know if I was bleeding invisible blood. I mean, that would make sense. That's a good question. Now, admittedly, typically it does happen to be that after you get spotted, it's not as useful, but still usually enough to make it so that you're not seen right away, but not this case, I guess. Which, that's fine. Pardon me. Hopefully it was good burn off though, like you were able to get a lot done, Tom, because it's like, I get it, that's frustrating, but as long as you're able to get a lot done, that does feel better. But I get it, I get it. Okay, so we're not that far back, that's good. I'll take that.
Used to be a beautiful city. Now look.
That was my fault, don't get me wrong, but still, like, ugh. I wish I could jump this tall in real life, that'd be neat. I don't know if I'd want to get my body changed for it, though. I don't think I would. Ah, I understand. It's very easy to do that, unfortunately, isn't it? It is a good jump. I really appreciate it. I don't think there's anything else for us to do here. If there is, that's all right. This is my first playthrough. I don't have to be perfect. You want that though? I want that. And that.
Daylight's wasting, boy. In case you haven't noticed. You good to go yet?
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Good. Strap in.
I mean, I guess I'm as ready to do this as I'll ever be. That's probably the better answer, to be quite honest. That was some stutter. Admittedly, this is the PS4 and not the PC version, which is interesting because I installed this before I got my computer upgrades, and now my computer would be the better way to play this, but wasn't at the time, so.
The leader of ARC, posted a letter condemning the attack. Sources close to the investigation, however, tell me that Rucker and ARC may be behind it after all. I don't know about you folks, but with the upcoming...
Interesting pre-game ritual you've got there. You getting pissed enough to end this guy yet?
I got a no-kill order.
Is that right? Would have thought he'd done enough to warrant extreme prejudice.
Yeah, right?
How far out are we?
Coming up on it now. Not many spots I can set her down. You got a preference?
Get as close to the ground as you can. I'll take it from there.
Whatever you say, boss.
I miss Malik. Malik? However you said her name.
Jensen, still got all your parts together?
I'm fine. How close did you get me to our contact's location? I was in Unit 237.
Jesus, Jensen, I didn't put you on his doorstep. Residential sector should be just ahead of you. Me, I'm gonna switch to autopilot, have a coffee. Let me know if things get
Okie
interesting.
dokie.
Alright.
I'm missing an arm there.
Usually, a humanitarian disaster like this would get a lot of press in foreign media. But given that these are augmented people,
They're treated as second class, unfortunately. I hear ya.
Temperature is a little high. Are you feeling chills?
That was, so I can give that away, actually, Roslov, since that was in the first game. That's kind of the exact point, actually. You don't find this out until... Oh, you're dead. I'm sorry to hear that. You find this out about halfway through the game, that the newsreader that everybody likes is not, in fact, a real person. That she's an AI. So, it's probably intentional that she does sound like that, actually. I'm blanking on her name at the moment, though. She sucks as an AI, then, because people can... Right? I think she's meant to be calming, but, I don't know. That's true. As I say, I don't know if it makes much of a difference, but obviously the original Human Revolution was, shoot, what was it? Oh, was it 09 that it came out? Am I gonna feel really old? I think it was 09. So it might be... You think she sounds creepy? I actually kind of like how she sounds. I'm gonna check when Human Revolution came out and feel really old. 2011. 11 years ago, as of August. Oh wow. Actually, 11 years ago next month on the day. It came out on August 23rd. Fascinating. I'd have to listen to her again, because it's like, I might have missed what they were talking about, how she sounded there. See, I want to listen now more to her, because I'd be curious if that's an intentional thing. Like, maybe they tried to make it so that your character knows that, she's not real, so he kind of notices, because beforehand, everybody thought that she was real. And he didn't tell anybody, but it's a possibility that's intentional. But without noticing myself, I can't guarantee. It'd be a really clever idea of them to do if intentional, but if not intentional, then, yeah. Is there anybody in here? What? Okay. No, there's nobody in here, so I can hack whatever I want as long as I don't get caught. It's actually something I would be curious about if they did happen to change her voice in between games slightly, as kind of an indicator that Jensen is aware of her now, so it's like he knows the difference. That'd be really cool if they did. Not holding my breath for that, mind you, but it would be really cool. Well, we can't walk up here. I don't know if there's any reason for us to walk up here, but we can. That's good. Security rating 1? Okay, let's... Up there. Over there. Got it.
Anomaly detected. Trace program initiated.
Ooh, that was close.
Access granted.
Okay, now how hard is this one? Security rating 3. Down there, huh? Ooh, didn't get caught. Okay.
Anomaly detected. Trace program initiated.
I find it interesting that it said it was harder, but I would actually say that that was easier, in fact. Which is okay. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining, just, observing. Nothing else. Okay. Did I miss you? There's a lot of stuff in here. Glad I came over here. Probably, I could see that, because I was gonna say it did say 60% chance that I get caught, and then I just didn't get caught, so.
You must submit to an identification
I don't wanna.
scan.
Initiate security scan.
Welcome to Golem City, Clyde.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the warm welcome. Thank you. That was very kind of you. Oh, hey, thanks for the resub, Triggered. How are you? For which part? I was gonna say, it shouldn't be anything inappropriate. It's just, you know, future, government corrupt, conspiracy, lots of, what else is there? Let's see. Did I say thank you for the resub, by the way? I can't remember if I did. If I didn't, I am now.
Sick. He didn't deserve that.
Honestly, overall, just a fun game series.
Everywhere we go today, cops looking at us.
I think most of us can. What? Huh. You know, most of the time when there's a valve, that means there's gas. Or a man with a valve in his head. Bad joke. But, I don't see any gas at the moment, which is interesting. Oh, now I do. Guess I'll turn it off for later. I don't see any way in at the moment, but, that could be beneficial later. Alright. Some Steam events must be activated by turning valves. Ah, I see what you did there, Roswell. Valve? No. Valve's logo is a man with a valve in his head. True Grit. I was making a bad reference to that.
You people. Now what? What other lies have you
What
got to tell
lies?
me?
I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm here to see Sokol. He's expecting me.
Which one? My husband Dushan or his foolish brother Tibor? I guess it doesn't matter which one. The police took them both to the Narrows to torture them for information they do
Well, that's not any
have.
good.
It's been a rough day, especially here. I can see that. But maybe I can help. What happened?
Like you care. My husband is gone. Tibor said he had a way of getting us out of Golem City. A contact with... Wait. Who are you?
I'm the contact.
And maybe there is a chance.
There's always a chance.
I'm sorry.
Oh, fair.
Normally they only take our
Yeah, there was some gas that I saw, and I was just trying to figure out how to turn it off. Or where it connected to.
Now, after the
Which I found, but not fully where I needed it to.
And then they take my Dushan.
Molly.
He has done nothing. Nothing.
Do you know where they were taken?
Told you already.
Basically, Roswell, yeah.
Narrows. Instead of asking
But we can...
stupid questions, why don't you do something?
They need questions. Or answers.
Stand there. They need help, please.
I need answers. Answers about Spider-Man! Or, your husband in this case. Also, I'm robbing you before we go. Don't think of it as robbing. Think of it as acquiring the necessary goods in order to, better facilitate your husband. It, doesn't look like you have much, though, so, that's unfortunate. Fortunate for me, not for you.
Chicane, we got a problem. Our contact's been swept up by the police.
I heard about cops in Golem, Jensen. Your Interpol ID won't get you any kindness with them.
That's all right. I didn't bring it with me. They're holding him in a place called the Narrows. I'll contact you after I find him.
We fixed this. You'll see.
Oh, there you go. Well, something tells me I shouldn't go through the front door. That just seems like it'd go, not too well. I mean, admittedly it could, but... I don't feel like trying that. I'm gonna be honest, this, This police station doesn't seem that well, well, what's the word I'm looking for? Established. We'll go with established. Hey, honey. You okay? Alright.
Brother, watch it. The cops are everywhere today.
I noticed that. Are you Tibor?
Yes, you're late, Interpol.
I know. I spoke to your sister-in-law. She told me what happened.
Adila, is she all right?
It seems like she can take care of herself.
Yes, she can. You know, I can't help
Pardon,
you.
cat, stop messing with my webcam.
Tibor, I can get you out of here.
And then what? They go back to my housing unit and
He has a point.
again?
And what if you're not there?
No, no. Please, that will just make it worse. They know who I am. They went after my family.
Interpol has promised to get you and your family out of here to safety.
Safety? There is no safety. Only tyrants who prey on the weak and the innocent.
All right, Tibor, listen. I understand why you can't come with me, but I still need to get to Rucker, or what happened to you and your family today will happen to others. I'll smooth it over with Interpol. Is there any other way you can help me?
There's a man, a smuggler, Louis Galloway. He imports items for Talos, neuropazine, whiskey. He could get you in, but you'd have to do him a favor.
He likes fireable.
That's something. Any other ideas?
My keycard to get to Ark territory is gone. One of the cops took it.
So we gotta knock out cops, okay.
Thanks, I'll look into it.
Please, I know you don't owe me anything, but if you see my brother Dusan, help him. If anything happens to
I'll help him.
Stella will kill me.
Of that, I have no doubt. I'll see what I can do. Chicane, get a message to Miller. Sokol's backed out of the deal.
Why am I not surprised?
He's just looking after his family. Besides, it's not a complete wash. He gave me some options on how to get into Ark on my own.
Well, just be careful, Jensen. This arsehole obviously can't be trusted. Let me know when you're in.
Would like to check the map is what I'm looking for. I have one hand at the moment. Oh, there we go, hold on. Yeah, laser grid, laser grid. Once I move him out of the way, I will check him. He might have the key. That's why I did that. Just for those that are... He does not. Okay. Not really sure who has the key at the moment, but somebody probably does. I like all these guns. No, not so much? Okay. I don't know if I strike it. Oh, this is where that gas was, probably. Maybe? I don't know if this is far enough away. I don't know. Okay, good. You guys saw nothing. Didn't have what I was looking for. Unfortunate for me. Okay. We'll go the long way this time. I don't want to waste any more energy, so I'm glad that none of you noticed at the very least. That was good for me. So I'm not sure how none of you noticed. It was pretty obvious, but whatever. I'll take it. I will take it. Okay. Don't see any camera. Okay, they're on a different floor.
Good. That is what I wanted to hear.
Question is, are they going to come upstairs? I hope not. That's a good question. I don't have that upgrade yet either, so I have no good answer to that, Roswell. Maybe they just think it's rats. Cyborg rats. Yeah, that's it. It's just cyborg rats. Don't pay attention to us cyborg rats. Okay, so there's at least 2 people over there. Okay. Okay. Doesn't seem like anybody's coming over here, though. What is the cyborg rats. Exactly. An everyday occurrence. They had to test it on somebody first before they tested on humans. And they decided to go with the rats. The rats of Nim.
Anomaly detected. Trace program initiated.
Exactly, yeah.
Access granted.
Because they smell so low. No, see, the rat, by making the rats cyborgs, they also got, see, we gotta tie it back into the rats of Nim. By making them cyborgs, they made them smarter somehow. I'm not exactly sure on the details of that one, honestly, but yeah, that's it. They decided to escape on their own. Once again, not sure how we got here, but we're here now. Ooh, can't do that one yet.
You're pissing me off. Alright, you old piece of shit. This is how it feels when you hold out on me. Try not.
Alright, now that they probably should have heard. Oh, there he is. Okay. Alright, what's the other explanation? They're all deaf? All the police are also cyborgs and they're hearing attunement. Nobody looks up ever. I mean, that is true. as we've observed plenty of times in Team Fortress 2.
Let me see just one arc, son of a bitch.
That's true. I also don't look up. I can't really fault anybody for not looking up if I don't look up. Is that a robot? Walk the other way, robot. I wish to knock out this person. Wait, where's an energy bar? Okay, it's not energy bars in this game. Ooh, that's a good one, actually, Roslov. Oh, man. Well, the third one's a robot. I mean... Uh-oh, where's my energy? Where's my energy? Multi-tool? Do not... Oh, there it is. Okay. Maybe it isn't a robot. It does look like a robot, though. No. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'm so used to the stun gun just being a one and done. I'm kind of glad that it's not anymore. It was a little cheap. Idiot does need to learn to check her corners. Just running at me. Come on now, you know somebody's in there. I will also say, I do find it quite nice that the big guy there actually could resist a takedown, especially while I was invisible. I admittedly, I don't think it's super realistic they could notice they did that while I was invisible, but the point being, I did. As I say, when you do search somebody, it does search all of them, so it does look like their head, but it is in fact more. I understand. Come on. Only I could turn your lights off, though. That light is going to be a dead giveaway. As I say, True Grit would be the one to ask about that, since he is a former police officer. Right? I mean, yeah. Now, admittedly, I'm still not exactly sure how they saw me in the first place, so... They can't be entirely stupid. I think there's still people above. Okay. Better go do one quick thing then. Alright, I'll free you in a second. Hold on. There. Hello? Okay, you're real people, real people. Oh, I guess there is nobody else here. It just looks like it. Interesting. Okay. Fine. The minimap is hard to read sometimes. What can I say? Well, these are real people, but I thought that there was two on the stairs over here because there's a. Looks like there should be two people here, but it doesn't actually seem like there is.
I'm not in the mood to strike.
I mean, fair enough.
I'm not talking to you.
So all right, fair enough. Okay, let's talk to this guy. I'm pretty sure.
Those cops won't be a problem anymore.
Too bad. I was just starting.
I'm sure you were. But you should probably still get out of here because I didn't kill them.
More down here if that's what you want.
No. It is better this happens now before I become too attached. You mind untying me?
Sure.
So, was it Tibor or Adela that asked you to help me? Or something else?
A man getting savage.
I like him too, he's funny.
Something I can just watch, regardless of the reason.
Well, you know cops, right? Assholes.
Hey, not all cops are that way. In fact, I would say a majority of cops are not that way.
I do know cops. And whether it's right or wrong, there's always a reason.
Look, all I know is that since the Ruzicka bombing, the police have been cracking down on us hard. They suspect Ark, of course, but they're blaming every AUG. For most of them, it's just another excuse to hurt us.
I thought you weren't a member of Ark.
My brother is. I just repair things for them sometimes. Heating units, security cameras. It is how I earn a living for my family.
Do you know if Ark was responsible for the Ruzicka bombing?
No. And I do not want to know. After this, I'm done with them. Being associated with Ark. Even if they are our only hope, it is not worth the pain. Look, you want to know what Ark is up to? You're going to have to ask them yourself.
Fair enough. How do I do that?
When you have robbed the man of all, the things, he is no longer the...
I mean, that is true. It is kind of too late for him.
Shit. Power. Something. Freedom. How does it go?
Are you feeling alright?
It is this week's passphrase. It is Selznick or Solzhenitsyn. Ah, I got it. When you rob a man of everything, he is no longer in your power. He is free again. Just remember the quote. It'll get you past Lubosh. He guards the way to the Ark elevator. Just repeat the quote, and he will let you in.
This'll help. Thank you.
It is the least I can do. Thanks to you, I get to sleep in my own bed tonight.
We still need to find that key, though. We should have another upgrade. That's nice. What do I want to upgrade next, though, is the question. Not that. Not that. That's a good question. It might have been Russian. It might not have been. I'm not entirely certain. There it is. Okay. Ooh, that might be good, actually. 2. Okay, can't do that yet, then. Also 2. I think everything costs 2 in order to activate, so may as well just hold on to it. That's fair. I was gonna say, you could probably look online and they'd probably tell you, honestly. On the wiki. As much as I hate to say it, it's a little hard to distinguish accents sometimes, which is not their fault, that's more a stupid American's fault.
Please.
He did, he's free. That's fair. A second. That's off. Hmm. Well, let's just hope this is good timing. Wow. I didn't actually realize that you could do that. Interesting. Nobody, is that right? So amusingly, I think enough. If you kill somebody, it does make noise, but if you knock them out, it does not.
I have a solution to this problem.
It does mean that, yes, which is appreciated, honestly.
Cam?
Coming over. Yeah. Ooh, pardon me. That I am a bit tired tonight. Probably only go here about another hour or so. So a little bit of a shorter stream, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, you know? But it'll probably be a bit of a longer stream tomorrow, as such. After our bike ride in Mass, because we are going for a bike ride tomorrow, which I am looking forward to. Good question. Maybe it's poker? Not entirely sure now that you mention it. Blackjack? Might be blackjack. I could see blackjack possibly. I'm not sure either. I'm gonna go with blackjack. I like blackjack better, honestly. It's something I can understand better. Pardon me. So everybody's knocked out now. I don't have to worry about them waking up to this. I believe it. As I said, I'm not the biggest on gambling either, but card games are just fun. I don't dislike gambling at the same time as as I say, I know it's True Grit and a couple other people know I like to buy booster packs of cards, which I would say that's technically gambling. It's a little bit of a different kind of gambling, but it is, I would still qualify it as gambling. Ooh. I don't think, well, maybe we could do this actually now that I think about it. Start hacking out. Not even close. Yeah. I do like gambling, honestly. I find it a lot of fun. As long as I'm not putting my family in danger. Spending too much, that type of deal. Right there? Really? Yeah. Oh, I can just ignore that now. I already got the password, so.
Mr. Jensen, this is Otar Botkovere. I hear you are in the Utulek complex.
No.
Keeping tabs on me, Botkovelli?
It is time for that favor you owe me. There is a shopkeeper named Gawa in the Cedri markets. I want you to eliminate him.
I'm not in the assassination game.
How you take care of this problem is your business, but I expect you to keep your word.
I mean, I can't disagree. I did tell him I'd do it. Probably not my best plan. Right? Oh, yeah. Is that really showing me where I need to go, though? Because I don't think that is.
Anomaly detected. Trace program.
I didn't mean to do stop. That was a mistake.
Granted.
Oh well. I do want that. That'll be nice. I'll be honest though, it doesn't feel like we've done much in this time, but that's just kind of how games go sometimes. Yep. Hello? Yes, there we go. I do want that revolver. I may not end up using it, but I still want to hold on to it so I can sell it. Oh, one. Okay, that should be easier. It is, yep. That's correct.
Anomaly detected.
There you go.
Access granted.
Yeah. I was gonna say, it should be a new weapon at the very least. You can also sell the weapons, as those do typically happen to be worth more money. You know what? I do know what I want with my Proxys kit. Wasn't sure at first. I am now. Praxis kit. One more inventory space. Not much more inventory space, but inventory space is inventory space, so. Oh, excuse me. Well, let's see. Green was right here, okay. No, interesting.
Anomaly detected. Trace program initiated. Access denied.
Oh, somebody is searching for me. I don't think anybody was actually searching for me. You can't never go wrong with more loot capacity.
It's too quiet.
Turn around, please. Turn around, please. Thank you. I mean, to be fair, I didn't knock that guy out, so maybe he just knows. And I don't think he's dead. I'll check in a second here. Hold on. But yeah, I don't want you bothering me. I need to hack this again. Shh! Don't yell so loud. Nobody's here. Yeah, I was invisible. So, that's why he just walked past. I mean, in a good way, too. That's kind of a sad way at the same time. For us, at least. Sorry. Oh. So. Did you panic?
Please, we are brother and sister. This is not a good time.
I was gonna give you credits, but if it's not a good time, then okay. Let's try this again, but a little bit better.
Anomaly detected. Trace program initiated.
I wish I wasn't having to use so many of those stops, but here we are.
Access granted.
Grenade. Tranquilizer rifle. Supply crate. A crate of supplies. Okay, fantastic. Civilian. I'll read your book. I will get experience for it too. Oh, don't mind me. I just want your painkillers. Your crafting parts. You guys don't need them. Besides, it looks like you guys are a daycare. You shouldn't be giving kids painkillers. What are you doing? What are you doing? Books and books. Interesting. You didn't see anything, right?
Jeśli se wam to zakazanie
Oh.
But can I
What's
help
your
you
name?
with?
Civilian. Okay. Civilian. Was there just a beer in that medical cooler?
Speak to me.
Oh, hello. Hey, Brute, how are you?
This is a pleasant surprise. I wasn't expecting any customers today, given the unpleasantness outside.
Are you Louis Galwa?
I am. If this is a referral, may I ask which of my customers was impressed enough to recommend me?
Tibor Sokol.
Ah, poor Tibor.
It's
But
going
how may
well.
I be of service?
Honestly, it's going pretty well. Just a little tired tonight, so that's why I'm like.
Of course. Please take a look.
It's not because of the game itself. I'm just beat. I do like revolvers, so I'll keep the revolver. Sell that. How was your day, though? I hope you had a good day. Oh, okay. That's that. Oh. Oh. Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, that sounds like a good time is what I'm trying to say as I eventually spit it out there. That's fair. Yeah, I was gonna say I do not play golf, but as long as you had a good time, I would bet it was good. It was good. So I'm trying to. Oof. I wouldn't be unopposed to playing golf, mind you. I just don't have anybody I'd play it with. I do want that, actually. More like I need... I don't know if I need it, but it would definitely make my life easier. Don't want to sell that. Okay, I do want to sell that, but I know that I need it. What do you got? Scope, silencer, combat rifle, sniper, charcoal rifle. I probably could use some stun gun ammo, honestly.
Credits are precious, I understand.
Yeah, I spent something.
Let's talk about the Diwali crime family.
Who are they?
They're the people running organized crime in Prague. Their second in command is a man named Otar Botkavelli. Heard of him?
No. I'm sorry, I haven't.
Well, that's too bad. I was hoping you could tell me why he wants me to kill you.
Shit! He wants me dead? Drug son of a bitch.
Sounds like you're starting to...
Yeah, Otar. He just slipped my mind for a moment.
That's not the only thing slipping.
Fine, smart guy. I work for Otar's boss, the head of the Dvali family, Radic Nikoladze. I spy on Otar's activities for Radic. Shit, I just realized. The other Pakyan, Konstantin, he died in the train station bombing.
You're thinking Otar wants to get the second spy, you, out of the way, and make a move against Radic.
I'm sure he'd love that. Those two have had their own private Cold War going on for years. But still, getting rid of me and Konstantin wouldn't be enough. Otar needs to gather more support in Prague and in Georgia.
But he could do it.
The only thing keeping him from consolidating his power is... well, me? But you're not really planning to kill me, are you?
No, I draw the line at assassination for would-be mob bosses.
Thank you. What can I do to repay you? Name it. Anything.
Vaclav Kolar. What's his connection to Radic?
Wait, I can't tell you that. Radic would kill me.
You said anything. Unless you'd prefer the alternative.
Damn it. Okay. Radic, Kolar, and I have a trilateral arrangement. Radic has an augmented leg. You just became the 5th living person to know that. So, I get Radic his neuropazine, and Kolar maintains his leg. In return, Radic looks out for us.
He's not doing a great job of that. You're lucky Otar sent me instead of somebody else.
He won't stop with you either. I'd better get out of the country until this blows over. And I'll guess I'll have to retire the Louis Galois persona.
Well, at least you're not gonna die, so that's... you know.
Fun playing him.
Next time, try it with a French accent. Might be more credible. One more thing. Tibor said you can get me into Ark territory without worrying about any guards.
He's right. I'll unlock the security door at the back of this room. Beyond that, there's a ladder that'll take you where you want to go.
Alright, thanks.
Is there any other way I can be of service? Perhaps you'd like to make a purchase and the Louis Galois escape from.
It probably would improve it a little bit, but still. A ladder.
I'll be on my way for now.
As you wish. But I hope to see you again.
As if any of us would...
Machiavelli, it's Jensen. Your problem in the Udalek complex has been taken care of.
Good. I look forward to hearing the details. But that will have to wait, because I have other urgent matters keeping me busy at the moment. I will call you back shortly.
Jensen, getting lonely up here. Got an update for me?
Yeah. I discovered that favors are like currency in Golem City. We're back on track.
Oh.
I'm heading for an area called the Throat now. Should take me straight into Ark territory.
Good. I'll update Miller and do a flyby up ahead. Get you the lay of the land.
Copy that.
And up here... well, I tried to grab the ladder from midair. Did not work very well. Hello? Lucy, I'm home.
Victor, we got one. Patrolling the market, just like you said it would be.
Nothing does work well with ladders, that's true.
Got it, brothers. Now, let's see what we've got here. These little guys can be tricky. Every once in a while, one of them will go off, even if you...
Should have tried cutting the blue wire.
If only life was that simple. You are lost, brother? It looks like you might have taken a wrong turn.
You must be the welcoming committee.
No. I am Marchenko. And Marchenko, he is more of a guardian. Like the hound at the gates of hell. Yes,
I'm not real big on the classics.
That is a pity. What a man reads can tell you more about him than his face. Can I give you a little friendly advice?
Sure.
Go back. Go home. There is nothing for someone like you here.
How do you figure that? You don't know me.
I know this place up ahead.
That would have been a good response, Roswell, honestly. It's a shame that Adam doesn't read.
Sometimes those get cut, yes? When outsiders come wandering in where they should not.
Or maybe he can't read.
I'll take my chances. I just want to see where Ark hides out.
We are not hiding from anyone.
Tell that to the cops down below.
Do not listen to police and all their bullshit about Ark. Those Lupotia pricks are everywhere, breaking heads, making their mess, and we have to deal with it. Better watch yourself. They won't go easy on you either, leash or no leash.
It's not what they're doing. Give me 1 second. It's not right what they're doing, but...
Is that you? Because it takes a lot to step out of line and answer back. And once you do, there is no return. Not everyone has the courage to take up the fight.
You make it sound like you're in a war.
It is a war. On us. On every augmented human. You see that, don't you? There is a moment coming, and it will be soon, when all of us will have to choose a side. Anyone who does not will just be in the way. And that could get them killed.
I thought Ark was about preserving human rights, not advocating armed revolt.
Here and now, brother. It is the same thing.
Is it though?
What you're talking about?
That's terrorism. 1. That's terrorism. 2.
We were just two men
That's terrorism.
having a conversation, discussing the issues of the day.
Your friend Rucker? I see him on the net. He feel the same way you do?
Ah, yes. Talos. He is a good man. Strong, intelligent, principled. You could learn a lot from him.
I don't think so. Every time I've met someone who tells me they know how things are, it all comes up empty.
If you believe in nothing,
I do agree. You have to believe in something, Adam. Doesn't mean you have to believe in everything, though.
bigger than you
Pardon me.
or I, or even Rucker, if you cannot see it.
Keep telling yourself that.
Well, as much as a political debate stimulates me, you are pushing my patience, and I have work to do. You have had your warning. Get out of here, while you still can.
If that was your recruitment speech, I gotta tell you, it sucked. The way I see it, after the bombing, tide's turning against you. Ark has made itself public enemy #1.
Yes, it may seem that way. For now. Until then. Sergei! Be careful in there, Shiny. Huh? Nasty rumors of a wrench getting scratches on his finish will scare the tourists away. Ah, yes. We'll be seeing you.
I don't remember why we wanted to come here.
Chicane, patch me through to Miller.
Give him a message. Patch you through. What am I, your fucking secretary now?
Jensen, I thought you were back on track.
I am. But I need you to run a name through ILANK. Victor Marchenko. Got a feeling about this guy.
Fine. But remember, you're there for Rucker. If he's behind these attacks, everyone else will fall in line.
Oh yeah, we're looking for Rucker. Are we looking for Rucker again? He's behind the attacks, wanted to take him out. Yeah, okay. I had to think about it for a second. It's like, it has been some time, which is on me. think there's anything. Oh, wait. There was at least a little bit more. Not too much more, mind you, but it's still nice to grab all of it. You know? Is it up? It's up. Okay. I didn't die, so that's good.
And it is time once again to share with you current events relating to the struggle for augmented rights.
Let me get up there.
Our principal topic tonight is, unsurprisingly, the aftermath of the deplorable terrorist attack on the music contains owing to the slanders and inflammatory insinuations and outright lies being put forth by the media, the police presence in the intellect complex has increased.
Yeah.
Reports have reached my ears of unlawful searches, arbitrary arrests.
Let's try this again. Yeah, that's better. Here to try. Oh.
It is understandable that emotions are harm, but there is absolutely no excuse for abusing.
I mean, that works.
We demand that the members of the state police and their civil curtail their burdens, begin reporting themselves in an honorable fashion.
I really hope this controller isn't drifting. It does kind of feel like that sometimes. Why break when I can just jump over? Pardon me.
Chicane, I'm in ARC territory now. That flyby show you anything?
First section seems to be a mass storage area. View ahead looks like ARC has repurposed it for living quarters. Or barracks, maybe.
Those two things have very different connotations, Chicane. Which is it?
Well, everyone in front of you is armed, so I'll let you decide.
Right.
Need some right over here. Alright. Fair enough.
Sokol, calm down.
Don't tell me to! Don't tell me to calm down.
and they try to intimidate me. Get me to bring them here. But I refuse.
Who?
Interpol. They're coming here.
The police know what happens to them when they come here.
Not the police. Interpol. I think they mean to arrest Talos.
Relax, Soko. If Interpol needs to learn the same lesson we taught the police, we will be glad to teach them. We will go to any lengths to protect Talos. Now go. Go keep your eyes open, and we will handle Interpol.
We don't have to sort of give the surprise away. Come on, buddy.
Sokol. Boże. It's you.
We came to you in good faith, with good intentions, and asked for your help. When you backed out, I defended you, and this is how you repay me? Why?
You're right. It's true. But I had no choice. Can you keep my family safe? Can you guarantee that? No, of course not. So I do what I think is right, and if it costs me my life, at least I have done.
What kind of game is Deus Ex? Give me 1 second. Okay, I can actually answer that right now. Where to begin? Oh man. Oh. Ooh. Which one? Adam's voice or? Let's say Adam has voiced a few people. I can look him up while I think of a good way to describe this. So Deus Ex is meant to be in the future, the far off year of 2027, which admittedly at the time did feel like, you know, a far off time when it came out in 2011, and now it's only 5 years away. That's terrifying. Deus Ex Human Revolution is the the game that I'm saying takes place in 2027. All right, let's start at the beginning. So in the beginning, there was an old PC game came out in 2000 called Deus Ex. It also got a PS2 port eventually. That was like 2055 originally. These games are set as prequels. The best way to describe Deus Ex is kind of in the future. Obviously, there's cybernetics. It's kind of meant to be a little bit of a tinfoil hat game where what if all the conspiracy theories were true? Especially with Deus Ex 1, the original, it turns out that way because you get to go to Area 51. The government does control a plague that is infecting everybody, and only they have the cure, etc., etc. So it's just meant to be kind of an exploration of that in a good way. These games are kind of meant to be that. Deus Ex Human Revolution starts off with you with your employer at the time, Seraph Industries, being assaulted, you basically dying and then being recovered, I would say, because you're not really brought back to life, but basically you're turned into the majority of yourself being cybernetics because of how badly you were damaged. And to be fair, you were damaged pretty badly in the initial attack. You're also found out to be basically the only human in the world that doesn't. So for all of these augmented people, everybody else except for you requires a drug called neuropazine because your body somewhat resists augmentation a little bit, but not yours. So there's a lot more history behind that, but basically it's just meant to kind of be like a mystery game with a little bit of I don't want to say cyberpunk. I can't remember the proper terminology at the moment for that, but shoot, what is it called? I'm still trying to think of it. Give me 1 second. Okay, so he has, aside from Deus Ex, which probably is his biggest role from what I'm looking at here. Let's see, he was in Assassin's Creed 2 as Rafik Informers, Assassin's Creed as Rafik Informers, Assassin's Creed 2 as Federico Auditore de Fiorenzo, Ugo. Same with Brotherhood. Revelations was Byzantine Guards, Unity was Jax Rooks, Odyssey was Leonidas and Nicholas. Back for Blood as Garner. He's been in a bunch of things. He was in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War as Maxim Antonov. But he's been in a bunch of things. I'm just looking for what else. He is in Fortnite as Ragnarok the Major. I don't know what Ragnarok the Major is. Maybe it's two different characters, to be fair. It might be Ragnarok and the Major. Yeah, I guess he is. Two different skins. I obviously wouldn't really know. Yeah, like, I would say that Deus Ex is kind of similar to Cyberpunk, but it's not at the same time. It's kind of weird to describe, and I'm not giving it a proper description. Pardon me.
I'm here to get answers and find
But overall, I do really like the Deus Ex games. I think they're a fun game, especially the original one. I like Human Revolution a lot. Mankind Divided is them making wishy-washy arguments about how augmentation and racism, and it's not very well handled, honestly. But I'd still recommend it, honestly. It's still a fun game.
What counts as suspicious?
We should secure the engine. I'm worried the police will beat confessions out of the civilians.
Yeah, I was gonna say Adam Jensen is pretty popular, so that doesn't surprise me. And he's a pretty cool character. Okay. You can stay there. Take a nice nap on the potatoes. Yeah, if you can get them for cheap, I can at least recommend the original Deus Ex. I haven't played much of Invisible War and Human Revolution. I don't know if I'd recommend Mankind Divided. Only the main reason because, while I do think that the story isn't as good as Human Revolution, my main complaint with it actually is the fact that it leaves off on a cliffhanger. That's the main reason why. So, Human Revolution ends perfectly because there's no cliffhanger, whereas there is a cliffhanger for Mankind Divided.
Jensen, how's it going down there?
Still working my way through the living quarters.
Picking out a place for you and the missus? I could see it now. You settling down, growing a great rusty beard, raising a few toasters.
Should take her out on the road, Chicane.
What's that? You're cutting out.
Not as the moment, but there is a possibility, Prue, that could change. So, the unfortunate thing is Deus Ex, oh man, there's such a history to the original Deus Ex and even Human Revolution. So let's dive into that real quickly.
Chicane.
In 1 second.
Thankfully, no. What's your progress?
I'm through the living quarters. Looks like I'm into some kind of operations area now. My gut tells me Rucker's gonna be above all this, someplace high and defensible.
Better find an elevator then. I'll update you with extraction coordinates when I have them. Chicane out.
So honestly, Deus Ex has had kind of just a rough history with oh, where to even begin, honestly. So the original Deus Ex, that studio was Ion Storm. And you might remember Ion Storm not for a good game, but for what was it called? Was it Ikaruga? No, not Ikaruga. Oh shoot. John Romero, what was that awful game you made? Daikatana. Had to think about it for a second. No, you're fine, Brute. So if you've heard of Daikatana, you probably know the ill reputation behind it. It was not a very good game. But that came out before Deus Ex. They had two separate studios. The one that was working on Deus Ex, the one that was working on Daikatana. Daikatana basically killed the entire studio. But Deus Ex came out to medium critical acclaim. It sold well enough that they were able to stay afloat until Invisible War. Not many people really liked Invisible War, unfortunately. There is some flaws with it. It wasn't quite as good a sequel as the original. So it basically laid dormant for... When did Invisible War come out? Now I need to check this. In 2003. It left, let's see. Basically, Ion Storm then closed in 2005. The rights got bought up by Square Enix. Square Enix went ahead and had Eidos Montreal make Human Revolution. Yeah, 2003. After Human Revolution did really well. Mankind Divided. Oh man, where do we begin with that one? Which is the one we're playing, mind you. That one's also basically Square's fault. Because Eidos Montreal didn't really want to release it in 2 parts, is my understanding. They wanted to make it a complete game, and then they just had the whole pre-order shenanigans. It's like, man, I don't even remember everything that happened with the pre-order shenanigans, but it just, I remember it being awful. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Yeah, an original marketing campaign for Mankind Divided revolved around a 5-tier pre-order campaign. Players who had pre-ordered the game could pick items from each tier, each with their own pre-order bonuses, depending on worldwide pre-orders. The highest tier would have allowed players access to the game 4 days before its release date. According to Square Enix, the system was intended to offer more freedom to players about the pre-order content rather than developers choosing pre-order content packages for release in each region. Game journalists and fans were highly critical of the campaign. Due to the negative reception, the system was cancelled. All content was available to those who pre-ordered the game or purchased the Day 1 edition. Mankind Divided was criticized after release for its use of microtransactions, compounded by rumors about internal troubles with the game's development. So it's just... Basically, Deus Ex had a very rough time. Mankind Divided did not sell very well, so we never got the sequel because Square Enix these days is very money hungry. And basically, if you're not gonna make Square Enix money, they don't care. Like, even if they have one little flop, they don't care. As, I mean, we can probably tell with the Avengers, which admittedly I didn't care about that anyways, because I don't care about the current Miss Marvel, like, at all. But the point being, it's like, you get one flop, and honestly, if they hadn't been working on Guardians of the Galaxy at the same time, which by all accounts I've heard is a good game, but they've just garnered so much bad will that nobody really cares anymore about you, Square, unfortunately. Man, it really has been like 4 months since we last, or 3 months since we last played this, and it's just, yeah, basically Square's incompetence led to bad sales for Mankind Divided. That's why we didn't get a sequel. Avengers is flopping really bad. But the reason that there's a good possibility that we could get a sequel, Square actually did recently sell the a lot of stuff. Deus Ex, Tomb Raider, I think a few other things to basically it's THQ Nordic, but it's not THQ Nordic. It's their parent company, the Embracer Group. I had to think about it for a second, which as of the moment, Embracer Group has done good things, but they've always seemed like bad. I did not see the summer bathing suits for Thor and Black Widow. Do I want to see them? I'll be honest, I haven't checked yet, so. I guess I can load up Fortnite real quickly to check, because the thing is, I try to forget Fortnite exists, I won't lie to you. Here, let me load up real quickly, just so I can see what we're talking about, because I'm curious. And we will be wrapping up here. But before we do wrap up, I do have this box that has been behind me this entire time. I just received this in yesterday. I finally got this in after a year and... Oh, not for Fortnite. Okay. Oh, for the Avengers game. I didn't know that... I'm going to be honest with you, Proot. I thought that they had gone ahead and killed off the Avengers game by this point. Let me take a look. Black Widow swims. This is going to lead to bad things, isn't it? I don't like it, but I'll be honest, that's not the worst. Like, it doesn't look good. And it definitely has too much skin. But, yeah, that sounds about accurate, unfortunately. There's still more characters coming, interesting. Like, it's definitely way too much skin, don't get me wrong. So, while I say it's not that bad, that doesn't mean it's that good either. The Iron Man one is fine. The Thor one, if the Thor one didn't have that bulge, it wouldn't be so creepy, actually. But, there's just a gigantic bulge, and I can't not look at it. That sounds really weird out of context, but, it's... yeah. I would say it is ugly. That's true. Yeah, I wouldn't say morally bad. I would say it's not enough. Like, there's still too much skin showing, but it's not the worst. It's not like it's a thong, so I appreciate that, I guess? Like, what do you say to that? It's like, gee, you could have made it worse, but you didn't. Thank you? Question mark? Oh, nope, that's not what I want. Okay, this is what I want. Give me 1 second. Give me like 3 more seconds. Because I'm going to do this to the camera. Background blur. The only reason I'm going to do that, that's... oh, wait. Whoop. Let's see. My basement isn't clean enough at the moment, I'll be honest. That's the main reason. Like, I gotta get another shelf, which I am working on, but we'll go ahead and open up the Castlevania Anniversary Collection, though. Here, just give me 1 second. I'm just gonna turn it off completely. It's not like the worst behind me, but it's not as well as I'd like it, to be quite honest. I just need more shelving. That's the plain and simple truth. But yeah. Yeah, we can keep talking about that, though, while I open this Proot, because it's like, I'll be honest, I am actually surprised that that Adventures game is still getting support. I'll bet you I know why, though. I'll bet you that they told Disney that they would give it support for X amount of time. It is a cool box. I really like Castlevania. It's one of my favorite series, so... they probably told Disney that they would support it for X amount of time. X amount of time has not happened yet. So even though it's bleeding them money, they probably legally have to support it. And they also probably have to keep trying to legally support it until they can basically say, yeah, sorry guys, it's dead. It didn't succeed. It was... It's like, I think they have said they have a roadmap, and if they don't happen to stick to that roadmap, I think that Square has been shooting themselves in the foot a lot lately, because I don't know if you also knew this, I haven't said this part. So the ironic thing here is, when they sold Eidos Montreal, as well as Deus Ex, and Tomb Raider, and a couple of, I can't remember the other franchises, the reason that they said that they were selling them was that way they could go ahead and invest in NFTs. Square wanted to invest in NFTs, and the week after they say they are investing in NFTs plummet. It's like, ah, yes, beautiful. You guys have chosen wisely, haven't you? They have not, in fact, chosen wisely. But as you might know, I'm okay with that. I think that's probably also true, Prue. There's probably a few different reasons they have to, honestly. Now listen, I, on the one hand, do feel a little bit bad that they're losing money. Like, I'll be honest about that, I do. I do feel a little bit bad. But not because the company is losing money, because the people, people might start losing jobs. That's why I feel bad. I don't feel bad that the big corporation is losing money, but I don't like it when people lose jobs, which I think that's self-explanatory. Then after we're in an opening, then I will go ahead and say night prayers, and then we'll be good for tonight, because I'm just tired. I gotta get up from 11 a.m. mass tomorrow, which admittedly, it's only 10:20 here, so it's not like I'm not gonna get plenty of sleep, but I still want to make sure I get enough sleep at the same time. Because it's, yeah. I remember what this is. Oh, wait, maybe I do. Oh, yeah, I do remember what this is. Okay. That's actually pretty neat. That's actually really neat. Okay. Not quite as big as I was hoping for, but, you can't always get what you want, but you can try sometime. One second, I wanna... There's something in there? There might be. Like, there's definitely a box, but is it a box that's just a box, or is it a box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Now I have to know. It's nothing. Which is fine. I get why they did it this way. So give me 1 second. Let me put this back together. I'll show you what it is. That way people are not just like, ah, you're ever gonna show us? And it's like, yes, I will. I'm sorry. Now, admittedly, I did think that these were going to be a little bigger, but that's alright. What's in the box? So, What's in the box is other smaller boxes that are little cardboard box. I'm trying to get this just right. That's not too bad. So basically it's just miniature boxes of when they originally released. Like even on the back of them, here I'll show you, hold on. With Castlevania. Well, that's not very comforting, I'll be honest. Looks like there's supposed to be flat or glue there, and it didn't hold very well. But yeah, I was gonna say also on the back, like they actually had the backs detailed too, which is pretty neat, I have to be honest. It's not like, you know, it's not the most amazing thing ever, but it's like, it's pretty cool. I'll give you credit for that. Like, this is a nice display piece. You can look through this real quickly. We also got a nice little, looks like art book maybe? Yeah, I really do like Castlevania. I don't like the Castlevania anime much. I don't. It is pretty impressive they included the back of the box. Like, I was curious that they were. That was the main reason I got it out of there, and then when I felt it was heavier than a box should feel, it's like, why is this heavier? Did you guys also include little game duplicates? Like, don't get me wrong, that would be cool. Not necessary, but, cool. Let's see, now we got ourselves a little book here, The History of Castlevania. Okay, so it just contains a bunch of information. It's also a instruction manual of sorts. It's a very small instruction manual, mind you, which is fine. It's not a problem. Oh, there's a Castlevania discussion book. I'm curious about that. A special discussion between composer Michiru Yamane, who worked on numerous titles in the Castlevania series, and the current series producer. I don't mean to say this to be mean to you, Michiru Yamane. What series? There's no series at the moment. We haven't gotten a new Castlevania game and oh gosh. $10 That's been since Lords of Shadow 2? That's not true. Okay. There was this one really weird mobile-only release that also released only in Canada. I don't know why it exists, but it does. So, aside from that, I can't think of any other Castlevania releases. Let me go ahead and double-check that, but like, I almost completely forgot about that, honestly, and I wouldn't blame anybody else for forgetting either. Let's see, we got oh, like even the Wikipedia page doesn't have it on here, and I know that there is technically one more than they have on here. Yeah, the most recent one they have on here is Lords of Shadow 2, which, okay, I was technically off. It was 2014. Almost 10 years ago. But like something Castlevania, what was it called? Castlevania, I bet you can find it. Canada mobile game. Like it was something Darkness. I can't remember. Yeah. Castlevania Grimoire of Souls. You make me sad, advertisements. You make me very sad. I don't want to see a manga called Might As Well Cheat. That sounds awful. Anyways, I'm going to look up Castlevania Grimoire of Souls real quickly. It's like, I'm sure the Castlevania Wikipedia itself has information on it. But, I think even Konami tried to forget about Grimoire of Souls, considering the fact that it got shut down less than a year after it got released. But I think they did re-release it after it got shut down. Yeah, like it did get re-released, but this time is only for Apple Arcade. I know of one person that has ever had the Apple Arcade. They only had it initially because they got it included with their new Apple product, and they only wanted Apple Arcade for the not Final Fantasy game that was made by the Final Fantasy creator. I'm blanking his name at the moment. It's like, yep, that sounds like a great platform to put your game on there, Konami. What is you even doing here? But is this maybe the Netflix series? I was gonna say that might be the other thing that they're doing. As I said, I personally don't like the anime myself. Plus, admittedly, I'll be honest, and maybe this is on me. 1 second. The creator of the Castlevania anime is not known to be a good person. Well, there is some actual really interesting stuff in here, like a lot of the art. Like, guys, if you just want to release an art book of all your beta work for Castlevania games, I'd be interested in that. Anyways, we probably stayed on this for too long. We got a nice box again. Ooh, you love your boxes. As I say, limited run games loves their boxes. Yep. I mean, it looks cool, but it's like, guys, you gave me 8 small boxes now and 1 large box. Boxes. And for those curious, by the way, I ordered this in May of 2021, so it has taken longer than a year to actually get here, and admittedly, I am glad that it is finally here now. It just was such a long wait. Oh, did you guys send me 2 boxes? Kinda? Why'd you guys send me 2 boxes? Oh, wait. This isn't meant to be a second box? Okay. I understand now. Stuff fell out, which... it's unfortunate. I thought there was supposed to be more. Oh well. Yeah, it was a pretty long wait. As I say, they also gave art for the first 3 games. I thought there was supposed to be up to the 4 games, but I can understand why it wasn't. It does make enough sense where I'm like, okay, fair. I'll show that off in a second, because that's probably one of the coolest parts about this, I'll be honest. You, however, have this big old clamshell still to get through. What's going on here? Right? Where does this go? Maybe I should worry about that in a second. It's just so easy to get distracted. Okay. Let's go ahead, open up this. I think that this is the last thing. But there should still be some more stuff in here, because I know it's supposed to come with a soundtrack, and I have not seen the soundtrack yet, so the soundtrack had better be in here, that's all I'm saying. Like, the soundtrack I know it was supposed to come with. I can just go ahead and check what it originally said as well in a second for what was all supposed to come with this. It does come a lot, like, there's a lot that comes with it, and some of it's really cool, don't get me wrong, and some of it's just like, I like the boxes, but at the same time, guys, this is a box. She's like, yeah, I'm finding out, Yogurt. I'm finding out. I gotta open up this, so this is the next one that I have to open up. This has the game itself in it. And, favorite movie soundtrack? Oh gosh. That's a good question, Yogurt. Give me a little bit of time to think about that one, actually. What's yours? Ooh. Favorite movie soundtrack? I don't know if I've seen Emily. Okay. So now that we've got in there, this is what the game looks like itself. Very nice. It also came with, you know, a fake NES cartridge holder, which, okay, that's actually, I do appreciate that. Oh, fair, okay. Yeah, I don't know if, very many movies have soundtracks released on vinyl these days. I don't know they don't. What's my favorite movie soundtrack? I don't know if it's my favorite, but I do know that I did buy The Hunchback of Notre Dame on vinyl. The Hunchback of Notre Dame? However you want to say it. I'm just trying to think of what else. What is my favorite movie soundtrack? This is one I'm having a really hard time thinking of, honestly. See, I do like the Passion of the Christ soundtrack, as odd as that might sound. There's the soundtrack. Okay. Good. I was gonna say, the soundtrack has gotta be in here, right? Right? And it was. Which is good. Then we have, okay. Steelbook of a steelbook carrying case, which is basically just kind of expected these days, I guess. Which isn't a problem, it's just an observation. It's like, yep, that's the thing that comes with video games these days, I guess. We had the soundtrack itself, which is a selection, unfortunately. I was kind of hoping for more songs. Okay. I was kind of hoping for like a double track CD instead of a single, but you know, the songs that they have on here aren't bad. We get Vampire Killer from Castlevania 1, Wicked Child, which I actually really like Wicked Child. They don't use Wicked Child very often though. Wicked Child is a good song, but they don't use it very often. I can't remember of another time that they've used it actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I'm sure they have. Heart of Fire, also a good one. Out of Time, Black Knight, Bloody Tears, and Castlevania 2, because that's where it first appeared. And Monster Dance. They have a couple versions of Monster Dance on here, it looks like. Yeah, so it's not bad. I will definitely be putting this onto my computer later, so as to listen to that. And then, this is actually really cool. I did a little bit of research on this guy, so I would really like to get him to sign this, because the original Castlevania artists, back for Castlevania 1 through 4, I believe it was, and then I think they did get a new artist after that, unfortunately. They actually got him back to do a brand new set of art. I believe 2 new sets of art, actually. He at least did do, so I'm pretty sure he did 2 new sets of art. I could be wrong, but he got this. I'm 90% sure that's right. I, once again, could be wrong. But either way, the reason why I was interested in that, so the person that did the Castlevania art back in the 80s, he actually has done some Christian art. I've been meaning to look into him a little bit more. It looks like it's some interesting stuff, actually. But I'm also 90% positive that he also did the art for the Shadow Box. Not just the Shadow Box, but the new art in general. Give me 1 second. I'm going to make it so you guys can actually see this a little bit better. Now, unfortunately, it does seem like there's a little bit of dust inside this shadow box, which does happen to be pretty obvious if you're looking at it, but you guys shouldn't be able to really notice it. Too much, at the very least. Here, 1 second, I'm going to try one more thing. That helps. That helps. The shadow box is really nice, I gotta be honest, and I don't know if you guys can hear that, actually. I don't think it's coming through. Give me 1 second. I'm going to have to turn off the, whatchamacallit, so it'll take 1 second. I gotta turn my monitor back on, though. I gotta mess with my, NVIDIA broadcast here. Give me 1 second. For once, I don't want NVIDIA broadcasts noise removal. Like, it's a rare oddity when that happens, but it is once in a blue moon. Okay, let's try that again. That's gotta sound super crispy through the shadow box to the microphone to you guys. I'm sorry, but it is pretty cool. But yeah, it's pretty neat. It's only the first 30 seconds of Bloody Tears back when it appeared in Castlevania 2. But it's still pretty cool. I still appreciate it quite a bit, honestly. Let me turn the light back on. That's basically everything there. Let me pack this back up. Well, not everything. Some of it's staying up. Because, I gotta figure out where to hang the shadow box. I think I'll hang it back over here, honestly. Right here. Get a little, whatchamacallit, hopefully. No, if I don't bring attention to it. Yeah. I think it'd look nice right there. Something to worry about another time, though. Probably work on that tomorrow, honestly. Okay. But yeah, let's go ahead and honestly, Aside from the soundtrack and the shadow box, I'm probably gonna keep this all in its box, which I know sounds really weird, but aside from the box is looking really cool. I have the Anniversary Collection twice on PS4 and Switch, so it's like I already have it digitally, so there's not much reason for me to really not do it that way, honestly. That way I can go ahead and keep it safer. I love my son. I love my cats. But, I could totally see either one destroying it unintentionally. Haven't you? I was gonna say, I did open it. I'll be honest. I was kind of... So while we're on that, I was a little bit disappointed by Metroid Dread. I don't think it's a bad game. I just don't like the new style of Metroid. If that makes sense. What is this even for? I have 2 of them now. I figured out at least one of them. I do like Fusion better, actually. I like Fusion. I didn't like Samus Returns much either. Oh, I did tell you. Okay. Like, once again, though, I wouldn't call any of them a bad game. It's just I don't like the way they're taking Metroid. That's the thing to take out of that sentence. Fair. I can understand that. I got very lucky with mine, Yogurt, and I got it the first day that it came out. Yeah, not to my liking. As I said, it's not like it's bad or anything, just... It's different enough. Yeah. It's different enough where it's like, I noticed the differences, and it's not a bad game, but... Man, I really don't want them to... Mercury's... I don't know. See... Plot-wise... It definitely did, Yogurt, but I've actually heard that gameplay-wise, maybe not so much. So I haven't played them yet, but I really want to try them. But I haven't as of yet. So that's a big asterisk on, maybe they're not that bad. And it's like, oh gosh, they're awful. I do plan to pick them up after I pick up Eternal Kingdoms. That's on my list first before I even think about grabbing either of the, or any of the 3. Actually, hold on, is Lords of Shadow on Steam? If it's on Steam, I think Lords of Shadow 2, and Mirror of Fate is. Lords of Shadow 2 is, why is... Oh wait, Lords of Shadow is on... Wait, all the Lords of Shadow is on Steam? You? But here's the real question. Why is Lords of Shadow 2 still $40? Like, this is an 8-year-old game. What is this? I don't even... Like, heck, even Lords of Shadow, the first one, is $30 still. I don't understand you, Konami. I really, really don't. I'll add these to my buy later list, but I'm not buying them at the moment, that's for sure. Konami probably just wants more money. That's kind of how Konami rolls, after all. What a horrible night to have a franchise owned by Konami. Maybe that's a little too mean on them. Maybe it's not. Yeah, I do agree with that. Honestly, I was thinking about picking them up on PS3, and I still might do that. Just so I can, you know, get the achievements for PlayStation. That would be it. That's the reason why. It's not a good reason why, but welcome to my bad reason why, I guess. Yeah, it kind of stinks that like a lot of the franchises I like are owned by stinky companies like Castlevania owned by Konami. And it's like, oh, Konami, what are you doing, Konami? Whatever it is you're doing, buddies, please stop. You make me very sad. Yeah, I'll work on fixing this more later, because now, I'll be honest, without the shadow box in there, kind of ugly now. Like, it's still not bad, and admittedly, I can just go ahead and flip to the back and, oh hey, it's looking better now, but it's still like, I'll have to figure something out for that. Let me get this out of here, though. Somewhere. I need more shelving. Yeah, I better order a new shelf here soon. I'm planning on. Let's get it in. Good. That's a good fit. I mean, that will work, but yeah, it's like, as I said, I'm possibly going to buy whatchamacallit on the Lords of Shadow games, except for the one that was released on DS, on PS3, because I don't think the one released on DS actually ever made it to PS3. Maybe it did. Oh, now I want to find out, because of course I do. Maybe it did, but only as a digital title. But I will say, I do hate what they did to the Belmonts in Lords of Shadow. I do know what they did there, and it's just like, you guys did them dirty, and you make me very sad. I guess it did come to PS3 as well. I would just need to go ahead and pick it up, I guess. Okay, so I guess I'll look into buying all three of those at some point, or I guess I might be able to wait and Konami will release them in a combo pack. Like, let's be honest, that seems to be the only thing that, aside from making bad anime, that's the only thing that Konami seems to be interested in doing with them these days. And now, to hide my shame that I need to clean up my room more and turn this back on. You guys can't see nothing anymore. No more secrets. It's not the worst, but I definitely do want to go ahead and clean it up. Anyways, it's almost 11 here. I think it's time for bed. Let's go ahead, end with night prayer, and we'll end it there. Then I'll be back tomorrow with yogurt, Keikuros, probably punch, probably is Jello? Is it Jello? I'm bad with names. Sloshy Pops. Maybe Joy. I don't know if Joyful will join us, but Phil, Terraria. But before Terraria, I'm probably gonna do more Mankind Divided. I don't know. I'm gonna do a game. So as I say, we don't usually get started till 9 my time. I might see if Phil's willing to get started at 8 my time. That way I can go, we can stream from 8 to 11 and I can go to bed. I can't remember what we were working on either. I think we're getting ready to fight the I think we're basically still doing prep to change to hard mode. I think that's what we were doing still. I could be wrong. Yeah, but yeah, I was gonna say, last week I was on vacation. The week before that I was on vacation. I think I had something come up the week before that, so it has been some time, honestly, but... Were we doing Spelunky? It's been some time. Anyways, okay. Let's go ahead and end, and as I said, we can make more Terraria plans tomorrow. In the name of Father, Son, Holy Spirit, Amen. God, come to my assistance. Lord, make haste to help me. Glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit. As it was in the beginning, is now, will be forever. Amen, Alleluia. I confess to Almighty God and to you, my brothers and sisters, I have greatly sinned in my thoughts and my words, and I've done what I failed to do. Through my fault, through most grievous fault. Therefore I ask most blessed Mary, ever Virgin, all the angels and saints, you, my brothers and sisters, pray for me to Lord God. May Almighty God have mercy on us, forgive us our sins, and bring us to everlasting life. Amen. 1 second. Lead, kindly light, amid the encircling gloom. Lead thou me on. The night is dark, and I am far from home. Lead thou me on. Keep thou my feet, I do not ask to see the distant scene. One step enough for me. I was not ever thus, nor prayed that thou should lead me on. I love to choose and see my path, but now lead thou me on. I love the garish day, and spite of fears, pride ruled my will. Remember not past years, so long thy power hath blessed me, sure it still will lead me on. O'er moor and fen, o'er crag and torrent, till the night is gone, and with the morn those angel faces smile, which I have loved long since and lost a while. Now I should probably look up the tune for this. I'm probably not doing it right at all, because I don't know if I'm familiar with this one, but I do like this one. Anyways, I will look up that later. Or I'll look it up another month, because I was going to say we're almost at the end of July anyways. Have mercy, Lord, and hear my prayer. When I call, answer me, O God of justice. From anguish you release me. Have mercy and hear me. O men, how long will your hearts be closed? Will you love what is futile and seek what is false? It is the Lord who grants favors to those whom he loves. The Lord hears me whenever I call him. Fear him, do not be... Pardon me. Fear him, do not sin. Ponder in your bed and be still. Oh, no. That's not good. Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that. Glad you found that, Thorin. Anyways. Make justice your sacrifice and trust in the Lord. What can bring us happiness, many say. Let the light of your face shine on us, O Lord. You have put into my heart a greater joy than I have from abundance of corn and new wine. I will lie down in peace, and sleep comes at once. For you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. Glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, will be forever. Amen. Have mercy, Lord, and hear my prayer. In the silent hours of night, bless the Lord. Oh, come, bless the Lord, all you who serve the Lord, who stand in the house of the Lord, in the courts of the house of our God. Lift up your hands to the holy place, and bless the Lord through the night. May the Lord bless you from Zion, he who made both heaven and earth. Glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, will be forever. Amen. In the silent hours of night, bless the Lord. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord alone. Therefore you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your strength. Take to heart these words which I enjoin you today. Drill them into your children, speak them at home and abroad, whether you are busy or at rest. Into your hands, Lord, I commend my spirit. Into your hands, Lord, I commend my spirit. You redeem us, Lord God of truth, I commend my spirit. Glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit. Into your hands, Lord, I commend my spirit. Protect us, Lord, stay awake, watch over us as we sleep. That wake me keep watch for Christ, and sleep, rest in his peace. Lord, now you let your servant go in peace, your words have been fulfilled. My own eyes have seen the salvation which you prepare inside of every people, a light to reveal to the nations and the glory of people of Israel. Glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, will be forever. Amen. Protect us, Lord, stay awake, watch over us as we sleep. That wake and keep watch for Christ, and sleep rest in his peace. Let us pray. Lord, be with us throughout this night, and day comes when we rise from sleep, to rejoice in the resurrection of your Christ, who lives and reigns forever and ever. Amen. May the all-powerful Lord grant us restful night and a peaceful death. Amen. We get over to 672. 1 second. Salve Regina, Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedo, et spes nostra salve. Et te clamamus, excellis filii, et te esperamus, gementis et flentes, in hoc lacrimarum vale, ego, advocata nostra, illos tuos, misericordiae oculos, ad nos converte, et Jesum, benedictum fructum ventris tui, nobis, post hoc exilium, ostende. O clemens, O pia, O Dolce Virgo Maria. Hi, Star. Bye, Star. Thank you for joining, though. I do appreciate that. That's not meant to be rude to you. I want you to know that. That will go ahead and... oh, that's acceptable. Unfortunate, but acceptable. That will end us there. Sorry. So, actually, I'll do one quick thing. That way you guys can know what I'm staring at. Didn't notice this at the time. But, my whale-tail figure apparently is missing a little piece. Thank you, I appreciate that, Star. And, I only noticed because my cat was, dragging it across the floor, which is like, thank you for showing me that, cat. But, don't also go ahead and drag it across the floor. Of course. I am always... give me 1 second. I'm fixing them. Alright, Welltail is now ready for Monday when I stream Xenogears. Mostly ready. Okay. But yes, of course. Thank you for being here, everybody. Yeah. Yeah. That's... I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Good night, guys. I'll be back tomorrow with Terraria and I'll do a game before I start streaming Terraria. I'll find out. I'm not sure what we're... yeah, anyways. You guys have a good night. God bless. Remember that God loves each and every one of you. Going somewhere. Good night, everybody. God bless.